Sorry, I just tickled myself. I'm like, oh. Mr. Wave. You literally legs, arms, and a head. What the fuck? Oh my god! Firing blanks.
Mine. I spoke that.
Please you can, and boom. Oh. I pressed a random button and it was the button for this thing I'm already on. We offered Side-Eye Guy's asshole up to the incubus/succubus. Nothing happened to his bumhole.
It's a noxious odour and it smells pretty rotten, and I've got a strong suspicion it's coming from your bottom.
I get brown and pink mixed up. Fuck off. No. Marilyn Monday. I saw that video. Happy birthday, Mr. Beardo. And chat of sorting laundry, so much laundry. Christmas Day. We're ending in 10 minutes. Turkey battle cry. Beardo looks like a white camp Mr. T. A pitbull. CRL, if you clip that, I...
Oh, Beardo! Hello,
is...
chat. I was about to write in the chat, buongiorno.
Scared the shit out of me shouting that loud. Look at this shit. It's in line with my nipples. They're lower than my nipple. Where's my nipples gone? Gun is firing peanuts! Peanuts!
Fire him with your penis, Beardo!
Side-Eye Guy. He's that posh. He's like James Bond, but with a sock. I've been stunned. I got him through the stun. I'm getting accused of hacking for that. Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Hope everyone is well. Right. Just to double check that the microphone isn't peaking or sounding as horrible as it did last week or in all of the videos that are coming out. I think I finally fixed where it needs to be and how loud I need to talk without breaking it. Let me know in the chat. Is it actually working this time? Instead of having it there and hiding behind it, it should be working. Should be. Good evening, Justin. I missed you last night. I was riding roller coasters and it was fun. Denise Flood, thank you for the 12 months. Hey all, sounds great. Appreciate that. Denise. Hey Beardo, guess what happened the other night? It went dark. Looking and sounding good. Sounds fine. Sounds okay. Hello, Weird Fox. So, the next couple of videos, the camera angles, everything is a bit off because I've been playing with... Basically, I wanted to buy a 8K cam. Excuse me. I wanted to buy an 8K or a 4K camera, and I'm like, it's pointless when my phone has got an 8K camera on it. So I've been playing with what are these things called? DJI Pepper Strong, thank you for the 18 months. Whee! Shit. Gimbal. So I've been using the DJI gimbal with my phone while making videos, and I can't quite get the angles right because it's too big to sit on a monitor. It is a gimbal, thank you, Jimmy Brown. But I've got a video that's recorded in 8K, but I don't think it looks too good when it's uploaded to YouTube, but I've tried it. And I've also got a 4K video in 60 frames. I'm just toying with things, trying to make things look and sound better. Nick Derrick, thank you for the 12 months. Of course you can have a pass on Pete. So, before I get into where I've been and why there's not any more gaming streams for at least in the next week, I'll explain all that in a second. But first of all, I don't think I need to ask, but I'm going to. Who did this? Who sent me a Backstreet Boys fucking vest? Who did it? It's your hubby's 40th. Can you get a Negan? And I've seen there's another Negan. Yes, you can.
Hot diggity, hot diggity, this kind of thing that just tickles my balls. Hot diggity, hot diggity, this kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
The reason I'm not wearing that now, if Cassidy did send it, is it's actually been worn in one of the videos. You little shit. So, I did the wild camping with Fahab. I came home for 2 days. I think it was 2 days. Then I did the Skirridin with HauntX TV, who were in the chat. Paranormal Monkey that's in the chat. Weird Fox is in the chat. Mrs. Geek came along and is in the video. You're welcome, Beardo. I knew it was you, you little shit. We were home for 2 days, but only one night. Then we went to Alton Towers. We stayed there. I did another day at Alton Towers, which got us home last night. My calves, my thighs, everything is dead. I feel like my legs are full of concrete. My back and my neck are ruined, but I had so much fun. Little Dan was with us. Sister Geek, I think she's going to call herself when she changes her name on YouTube. And in between, I've still been trying to make the content for the weekly stuff. And we've got more time away, but the videos are already pre-recorded. Monday's video, I've got all the assets for it because I'm doing a mockumentary style thing on a fake exorcist. Oh. So the reason I've picked near-death experiences for tonight is I met a friend of the Paranormal Monkey podcast at the Skirridin, and he actually died, and he died for quite some time. I was very apologetic, but I was like, I've got to ask. I've really got to ask. Was there anything? I was gutted. He looked, nah, fuck all, mate. Just had some strange dreams while I was clearly in a coma. God damn it. Beardo, you've been busy on a one-legged man and an ass-kicking cop. That's Stevie. To be fair, I haven't filmed anything at Alton Towers. I filmed at the Skirrid. I filmed the wild camping. And I'm not filming the next trip. Nah, Pink Angel, we've only just started. So, while we've barely been home, it's been time with the family. We've had family barbecues, family get-togethers. We've had we normally have 1 or 2 across the summer. We've done so many this summer because, obviously, as you know, Mrs. Geek's grandparents have been gravely ill, and there has been Occult Life. Thank you for sending everyone over. I really appreciate it. Because of everything that's been going on, we've not spent any time together for 2 years, so we've made the most of it out of this summer. The most of it. So tomorrow's video is going to be... No, Dorset. I'm basically covering Dorset's 3-part on Thursday, and why they've got the right to be upset with the person, but not with themselves, because as far as I'm concerned, they did their job. And tomorrow's video is... I forgot. I'll tell you now. Ignore the bags under my eyes. We didn't have much sleep. I'll do the participants in a second. I've forgotten already. I've forgotten how to stream. True story. Midwest Ghost Hunter. A few guys in the chat that enjoy it and stick around for it and watch it. They keep asking for it. It's a Paranormal Sins. I just haven't titled it Paranormal Sins because YouTube don't like it. I'll do it for some reason. Hey, Mama Geek. I finally got the air conditioning fixed on my car, thanks to Papa Geek. Turns out, mine and Papa Geek's cars, the air conditioning runs on a new type of gas that is unbelievably expensive. We were in for a shock. Hey Tim, how you doing? Appreciate you smashing that like. I was dead for over a minute. Wait. I was dead for over a minute, fell off a car while surfing. I flew 60 feet, landed on my head. Helicopter flight to Boston Hospital, and yep, when I was gone, had some things happen, nothing bad. It's interesting, because science says it's just your brain shutting down. But then there's some really bizarre stories out there, and I've never really looked into it. I've watched documentaries on it and stuff. And there's a bit of strangeness around it, and science can explain everything. Hey, Fright Night, hope you're well. Sorry, just tried a couple of super chats, got charged for it, but the messages failed. Between YouTube and Stream Elements, something should have picked that up. I don't know why. Right, let's do the participants, because there's 283 people in here. Jesus. We'll do them quick, and then we'll get back to it. Tonight we have Andrew Hills, Angie Metzner, Anna Banana, AV Stevie, James Drums, BC Mormon, Big Max Golf, Blue Sky Lissa, Bookie, Cassidy, May Wilson, you little shit. Bristolian Kiwi, Chemical Nerub, CRL, hello CRL. Even my mods haven't seen me for a week. Apart from my wife. Darkvale, Tim, Dorset Paranormal Investigators, Edward McCrindle, Flower Coven, Fright Night Project, Gillian Daniels, Giselle, or Giselle? It's Jolene, 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 Jolene. Jenny J, 0007. Like James Bond, but even fucking harder. Horror of Horror, John Boy Patton, Juanita George, Kenzie. Why am I looking down there? I need to look down there. Sorry, I'm so out of shape for this. Kenzie, Kitty Etheridge, Chris Williams, Laura Wilson, Leanne the Cleaner, Mama Geek, Mamap's Awakening, Megan Behind Blue Eyes, Mike's Mysteries, Monique D, Mrs. Geek, One Annalise, Paranormal Monkey, Paul Harrison, Pepper Strong, Punky Pixie, Richard Larson, Richard Watt, Sam WZ8UN. What's that mean? Just testing, tell me why. Thanks, CRL, for the 199. The Redneck Connection, howdy, how do. Pepper Strong, Punky Pixie, Richard Larson, Richard Watt, Sam with yeah, that one. Sarah Robertson, Simon Stevens, Span, Squiggly Worm, Sir Spook Fest, Susan Olmy, Dark Carney. Occult Life Media, appreciate you bringing everyone over. The Pink Angel, The Redneck Connection, The Violet Rook, TR254, I'm not reading that. Trevor David, Valleys of Dragons, and Weird Fox. So, obviously, I went to the Spirit, met with Justin from the Paranormal Monkey podcast, and we met with Haunt X TV. One half of Haunt X TV, Ali, is a psychic medium. So it's the first time I've worked with a psychic medium. I believe it was the first time that Justin worked with a psychic medium. The reason I wanted to work with Ali from Haunt X TV is he's not pushy with it. Hey, Paul Dolan, as it skipped some, I do apologise. You missed me. Sorry, Crazy Ken. Hello to you, Six and Soup. He didn't say he would guarantee anything, but he would try to stir things up. And a lot of people are going to be waiting for me and Justin to take the piss. That's not what happened. Me and Justin were fully invested. You want to do a seance? Let's do a seance. Let's take science and debunking out of our minds completely and just go all in for it. All in for it and see if something happens. And I had a great night doing it. It was so different for me to not try to debunk things to the point where something may or may not have happened and I just sat there like, nah, I ain't debunking it. Weird Fox, on the other hand, holy shit. She was like a dog with a bone. She was trying everything in the building to recreate this sound. It was great. I did debunk some things on the fly, but because I couldn't help myself. But the plan was to just go for it and just get fully in. And I want to do it again. Now, there are some, obviously, there are some psychic mediums that are like, Ian Lawman and his ilk. Wouldn't fucking touch them. Wouldn't touch them with Lee from Really Haunted's fingers. But I believe, even if I don't believe in psychic mediums, I believe some of these people believe. But Ali was very different, very open to working with debunkers because he's like, he believes his gift. But he wasn't trying to prove us wrong, which, fair play to him. I really enjoyed it. Did the psychic read anything on you? We didn't ask. I know Mrs. Geek was tempted to ask. But because it was a paranormal investigation, we wanted to do the investigation as opposed to detracting with, can we, you know, read Mrs. Geek, read me? And I didn't want to put him on the spot and then film it. And I quite like the idea of building up a bit of rapport with a guy that is very nice, very kind, I mean, we hung out for hours before the investigation because I was a bit concerned about working with a psychic medium, being a debunker, and getting the wool pulled over my eyes. But that's not the impression I got. Mrs. Geek believes that some people are gifted. Me and Mrs. Geek are quite opposite in some things. I think most mediums are full of shit, sorry. I think the ones that are like, give me your money, you can talk to your dad. His name is, He sat next to me, which is a story I heard from them. They were there. Because HauntX TV Ali, whilst being a psychic medium, has actually rumbled some psychic mediums in real time and called them out for what they're doing. So, respect, you know? Not pushing on anyone that I've met a real life psychic medium. I've met somebody that I believe believes. And he wasn't offended by me believing he believes and not believing he is. And he wasn't, and I'm not offended by him looking at me as a debunker in whatever light. And we all said at the end, you know, we'd like to do it again. We'd like to work together. Did you get a response from Bob Larson? Probably not. I might do after I rip him to fucking pieces next week. Because now I've been researching him. The weird little bastard. I'm not done with Bob Larson. Talk my smack about my man Ozzy there. Get a smack back digitally. Maybe some people are special, and I've had to deal with them today. Hey, listen. We can all have our beliefs, but I will say this. Ali, take away the psychic medium, his beliefs, is a very, very nice man. Someone once said to me, I believe you believe. I believe you believe. I really do. And that's why there was no mocking. You know, if you had said to me, we'll go and do this investigation, I'll charge you £500 and I'll bring the ghosts, and I laughed you out of the building, and I'd have filmed me doing it. It's not what happened. Ali and Sadie, lovely people. Absolutely. When you, even different beliefs, when you investigate with good, nice, wholesome people, it makes for a good, wholesome, nice investigation. Still no amount of evidence will convince an idiot. Mark Twain. It's a great quote. Had to stop the Bot Larson video. He set my anxiety off. Oh, that man's getting it twofold next week. Did you get a response from Bob Lazar? No. No, I did not. True. I got the alien nut job mixed up with the Exorcist nut job. You missed me. Can I have a Mary, please? Jennifer Taylor, of course you can.
Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick.
Where would my dream investigation be? For it to be a dream investigation, it would have to be somewhere that is impossible for me to investigate. So, Enfield. I'd like to investigate Enfield. That would be a dream, because you can't go there. And, you know, maybe you could get into Enfield one day, but one that you can't because it's not there anymore is Borley Rectory. Now, I knew a little bit about Borley Rectory, but I know Justin from Paranormal Monkey is obsessed with the place. And the more I watch and the more I read, the more I'm like, oh yeah, there was a ghost in there. Or there was something in there. It was his wife getting stopped. But there's other stuff. You need to dye your beard again, beard. Yeah, I know. I know. I joke, Bob Lazar got arrested for running a brothel. Really? Urban Normal, how you doing? Kenny Biddle, good evening. Good evening to you, Mr. Biddle. I can confirm, Ali and Sadie are just the most lovely people. You two, Justin and Weird Fox, was tempted to crochet with Jason Momoa cardigan, mind. Justin's got enough bad fucking fashion sense. He'd probably wear it. Beardo, you missed me and Pedro. Granny Dumpling, I do apologise. And Pedro, I do apologise. There you go.
Piss off, ghost!
Beardo, you're very kind individual. I have no idea how much your word... Oh, fuck me. Words mean so much. You, Mrs. Geek, are so kind and genuine people. I mean, I'm an horrible bastard when I want to be. I'm nice to good people. I'm horrible to horrible people. I so wish you were okay with your grey. I hated the grey. The only reason I kept the grey as long as I did is because Mrs. Geek liked it. And then she could see he was just getting me down. I mean, this under my eyes, that, my weight, all of it. That's why I was dieting and all the rest of it. But recently, I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm 44. My wife is a bona fide MILF. Why am I fucking worrying? When are the billies going up on eBay? 2 weeks ago. But I've built the store. I just forgot to put anything on there. I'm a mower cardigan. I'd be all over that like a rash. Hey, Mrs. Geek, maybe we should make one for Justin for Christmas. Recently got recommended your channel. I agree with your views on Sam and Colby and Selena. I hope to see more of your content. There is plenty daddy issues. Absolutely plenty. Fitsu, I just love you how you are, even when I dye my hair. Your value as a human isn't how you look. CRL, I completely understand that. But when I started growing my hair back out, and the beard was getting grey, and the hair was grey, and I'm overweight, I was like, I just thought I looked scruffy as fuck. You know, I don't know. I just didn't like looking scruffy. Nobody told me I looked scruffy. I just think I looked scruffy. You're so much more than how you look. Fine as you are, buddy. I know, yes, I wasn't doing it to impress anyone else. It was literally for me. I mean, you shaved it off once. Mrs. Geek, you did cry when I shaved my beard off before. Spoiler alert, psychic mediums aren't real. People will tell me ghosts aren't real. And I can't dismiss psychic mediums if I don't try and work with them. But I've got to try and work with a psychic medium that I trust. Beardo having a midlife crisis. Hey, Mama Geek, the midlife crisis was those fucking dreadlocks that were sticking out all over my head. That was the midlife crisis. Absolutely not casting, mate. You have to be comfortable with what you see in the mirror. Justin still thinks you're fit, Beardo. I know. He tried sneaking into our room. Rock the Silver Fox, I hated it. That video of 20 morons running around the supposed haunted town was hilarious. It was the embodiment of dude, bro. Oh, there's more to come about that haunted town. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to put a video into it, but that haunted town, we'll do it here. That really haunted town, spoiler alert, isn't an old town. It's a recreation of old buildings from multiple old towns. And the owner, apparently, I'm still trying to find out if it's true, is really pissed at Sam and Colby for making out there was demons and ghosts there. Because it's not fucking haunted. But you know, I've developed a bald spot at the top of my head, so I know what you mean. Have you? Been having a midlife crisis? So, I mean, to be fair, I've had pink dreadlocks. I've always been a weird... I dress weird. I was a goth or a biker for years and years and years and years. I'm just going back to how I used to look. Thank you, Beardo, for giving me a reason to watch you. Hey, Chris Rice has plenty of reasons to watch YouTube. Plenty. CRL, you may... Yeah, scratching. It could be. Beardo, if it was comfortable for you. Dean Bailey, appreciate it. Thank you for the 25 months. Let's go. We have pubs in Europe that are older than the US. I mean, the Skirrid Inn, if you listen to some stories, it was built in the 1100s. And I'm like, this place ain't that old. It was built in the 1600s. Alright, they're still fucking old. Jason Momoa, when Jason was Aquaman, she'll fit with Justin's fisherman theme. It's also a town in the US. Most of Europe is older than the US outside of the indigenous people. Shit, all mine at the front. That's why I have my hair down on the sides. Yo, Beardo, how's Tricks? What's your thoughts on the latest Ghost on Trent videos? Especially the one near the Oasis. I haven't watched anything for nearly 2 weeks by anyone. I know I need to watch the Ouija Brothers and Ghost on Trent's videos at that farm. I need to watch them, as they asked me to go there, and I've said no because I don't want to do abandons anymore. That one is tempting me because they keep going there, and maybe there's something to it. Enjoy your age. You'll never be younger than you are right now. True, girly twirly. True. Hashtag locks for Lee. We'll all be borrowing locks from Lee. I keep having these weird dreams when I'm going bald, and then I'm like this in the mirror, checking my hair. I'm like, look, I'm going bald. I'm going bald. Whiskey, like, that's your parting and your grey hair, and I'm nuts. Oh, yeah. Einkill the Ganjamancer. That is the coolest name ever. And look at that beard. Thank you for the membership. I appreciate you. Anyone else had an NDE in you? It'd be interesting to see how many people have had an NDE. I assume not a lot. Any recommendations in not getting fleeks in your beard? Big Time Ando. Yes. I use a company called Bigfoot Beard Co. Purely because they're a Welsh company and they're cheaper than the big name brands. Don't overwash your beard. Don't wash it every day because it'll dry your skin out. But buy proper beard shampoo, beard conditioner. You need the beard oil. Everyone's doing this for beard oil in their beard. It's not for your beard. It's for your skin underneath. It's to stop your skin drying out. The beard balm, the beard fluff, and the beard wax is for the hair. The oil is for your skin. So there you go. A bit like St. Fagans. Yeah, but apparently St. Fagans is haunted. Mrs. Geek knows some curators there, and we're trying to see if we can get in there. Some strong backs. Have you seen how much this shit has grown? I mean, the back is starting to curl out. Look how long this shit is. I cut it all off not long ago. Look at it. And that's why I've been wearing a hat. You can see that I'm going bald. Fuck off. More UFOs. I want to get into more UFO stuff as well. You've had an NDE. Don't talk about it, Mr. Badger. You don't have to talk about anything. Last night we investigated the abandoned farmers, Ghost and Ouija Brothers. How did you find it, Hauntex? How did you find it, Nick Carter? CRL! Mama PZ Crass, Beardo, last time... I can't read what... Sorry, I don't know what that says. My coma was 3 days and I definitely experienced things, sounds and visuals. In my apparent dreams. Not to discredit anyone else's experiences, but mine were wild. I'm not going to take anyone's personal experiences from them. I was boy band hair if ever I saw... Fuck off, Justin. You dressed like my grandpa. Suck my ass. Voodoo Child, hello to you. You look like Zach Dingle. Emmerdale? And the cat thing's catching on. We have an explorer friend who gives us pins, Beardo. Sent them the picture. They found the pin for us. Fair enough. No, did you experience anything there? Because apparently, it's quite active. Paranormal Monkey, no, a boy band would be a thing if he did weird designs in his face hair. Like, what? How do you do weird designs in your face? Well, do you mean like shaving bits out? Absolutely not. Felon says, walking in the room, someone mum holding a kid crying. The hat's back on. Brian Literal. Who's that? Even Metallica cut all the hair off once. Exactly. Some of them have still got short hair. Not Kirk Hammett. He's dedicated to metal. Beardo, please may I have a piss off ghost? Chris Williams. Of course you can.
Piss off, ghost!
Beardo, you're still a child at heart. I mean, look at my stuff. Metallica led AI gear with short hair. Metallica did look weird with short hair when they cut it all off. I mean, Lars Ulrich, bless him. He don't need a haircut anymore. Well, apart from the back. Oh, the lead singer with short hair. Yeah, James Hetfield doesn't look right. I could do a mohawk. I could do a mohawk. I just don't want one. Could also just own it and shave your head bald. The second that I see a pancake development on the back, it's all gone. All gone. Bit odd, no tunnel or white lights. Where's your real title belt, Beardo? You can see it. Wait, hang on. Oh, now you don't want to track me, idiot. You dickhead camera. My world title belt is there. There. You're not going great, it's highlights. Unfortunately, I had more grey than actual whatever colour hit. Creepy Baggins? Yes, you can. What time is it? Right, we're nearly at the time to start the reaction.
There. How you doing? You come here often?
Every day.
Oh, why is that?
I work here.
Yeah.
Megadeth called it a day. Listen, I love Megadeth's music. I just don't like Megadave, and I don't like Megadave's voice. Never liked it. You'd look like Phil Mitchell with a beard. Oi! Get out my pub. You slag. That's more Danny Dyer. It looks the pattern has the vibe and nothing exciting for us when we went. We've been sat in complete darkness, found chilled in the place. We'll return. This is the thing. You can go to the same place a billion times and only once get something. If people keep having a go at me for going to East Drive all the time, I'm like, yeah, it's one of the only places I've had experiences, so why wouldn't I go back? Even if those experiences weren't real. Hey, good evening. Don't Scare Claire. Massive, massive congratulations on that 40k. Massive congratulations. That's fucking huge. Fair play to you. Your hard work's paying off. Sky Talker, thank you for the 21 months. 21 months I'll never get back. Thanks. Chris Rice, thank you for becoming a beardo weirdo. Appreciate you. St. Fagans is haunted. I've done a tour there. It's proper creepy. There's one farmhouse in particular that is not good. Hopefully they'll have a Halloween event. Ooh, Darkvale, Tim. Tim, you're very skeptical, right? Please no more Sam and Colby. My head hurts. At some point I'll have to do it. Vito, your custom is finished and should be with you next week. I can't wait for that. He's built me a custom Vito action figure. I would like to visit to East Drive. Kenny, I would like you to visit to East Drive. I mean, I've been there 6 times and I've only ever experienced 2 things. 2 things that I'm like, I can't explain that. I'm not saying it's a ghost, but I don't have those experiences anywhere else. And people I trust have had experience. I mean, Justin. The reason Justin thinks the paranormal is real is the East Drive. And he was the guy that called it... What was it he called it? A tourist trap shithole. I think is what he called it. Hank's Corner, 11 months, almost a year already. I appreciate you, Hank. Thank you very, very much. Guys, can we get some congratulations in the chat for Don't Scare Clay for 40k? She's done that double quick time. Give the Wi-Files a like, a sub, and a like, and a comment. Absolutely, Jolene. Thank you for the 29 months. 29 months, Jolene. Jolene. Jolene, Jolene. Well, Cassidy's been looking at recently. I think Beardo may be getting more dolly soon. Cassidy, please no. No. What experience do you have, may I ask? Right. One experience I think we may have debunked was, it sounded like somebody was throwing furniture around when we were sleeping, but I think it's the beds echoing through the floor. And it may have been Lee rolling around in the single bed directly above my camera. But that same night, I was woken up to something pulling the drawer handle. And it freaked me out. Did I capture it? Yeah, there was a brief moment of it captured on camera. Because it woke me up and I turned my camera on. It was still happening. And I couldn't recreate it without lifting the drawer handle and leaving it go myself. There was that. I had an experience that I've never talked about because it wasn't on camera. My battery'd run out, so I couldn't. And basically, I woke up and it looked like there was a blue light bulb or a blue light in the room that lit the room up blue. And I was like, I thought I dreamt it, so I never mentioned it in a video. And about 3 months later, I told Paul from Ghosts on Trent Bar, and he was like, were you in the parents' room? Because he had the exact same experience 2.5 years prior to me and thought it was a dream and didn't tell anyone. The exact same thing as me. The drawer handle lifted. I don't know. It could have been up and fallen down, but according to the footage, no. But it went on for quite some time, and it allowed enough to wake me up, and I'm pretty sure it was still on. I captured it on camera. There was that, and then myself, Dean, 3 Spires, and She Who Shall Not Be Named went. And we walked in, and I dismissed it as high EMF, and I shouldn't have. I should have researched EMF before. I saw somebody dart from the kitchen into the living room. And I stopped and I went, ah, fuck, Carol's in here. And I believe she saw it. Lee from Three Spires saw it. Dean didn't, but Dean went, oh, it feels fucking weird in here. And I dismissed it as high EMF, but there was nobody there. And I'm like, 3 of us saw it, but the strip light in the kitchen is throwing out high EMF. And I dismissed it. And then Dean later had an experience on the stairs where he saw something dart across the stairs. And again, we dismissed it as EMF. Yet there's nothing to suggest that EMF causes visual hallucinations. We were told they were years and years ago, but more research has been done, and there isn't anything. And East Drive has creeped me out. There is, on occasion, it's not every time, on occasion, there's a creepy feeling in that place. It was in the night with the blue light. I missed my mouth reading that. The interesting ones. See, Rex Nemo. If it had been the corner of my eye, I'd have dismissed it. But I turned into the kitchen and I full on just saw something dart. And I thought it was Carol or a shadow from outside. And again, I think we mentioned it in the video, but because we didn't record it, we didn't spend any time on it. And then, oh, we did spend time on it in the video because I basically said it was bullshit. East Drive is the only place I've been to where I've had raps banging, doors knocking, objects thrown, a child laughing that weren't there. So yeah, I've had to change my mind about the place. I thought I saw a ball of light on the stairs. Right, a ball of light, not a shadow. I'll be a lurk and I can't keep up. Spider Queen, it's the way of the channel lately. Right. So we've gone 5 minutes over the just chatting. Hallucinations from fungus, trippy mold. There is mold, but it's kind of confined to the coal shed. And none of us go in the coal shed because of the mold. While there's peeling wallpaper and the carpets are thin, there doesn't seem to be a mold issue there anywhere other than the coal shed. But maybe that plays a part in it. Maybe the spores and who knows. But that house is ridiculously hot. I think they're trying to combat mold by keeping the house hot. Gonna try and get East Drive next year. I'd go back there. I would go back there, but out of 6 visits, I mean, the last time I went there, you guys saw the live streams. I've deleted all my footage because nothing happened, and I'm like, what's the point of me putting out a video and scrolling through 48 hours worth of footage across multiple cameras when I know nothing happened? Because I've skimmed the footage because we had trigger objects absolutely everywhere and absolutely nothing happened. So if there was mold there, shouldn't I have had an experience when that was the longest I've ever spent in that house? It was pretty much 2 nights and 3 days. I think it was over 48 hours. Have you heard of astronauts seeing blue lights? I have not. Right then, let's get into the reaction. We're going to look at the WI file. So I won't be pressing the buttons and the bands and all that. We're going to get into the WI files. I genuinely, this is one of my favourite channels on YouTube at the moment. And I can't watch them because these videos, we enjoy doing them together. So, Cherrywood, thank you for the 19.99. I really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Hello to you. This is called Proof of Life After Death, Hope, and a Warning from the Other Side. And the reason I picked this is obviously Justin. I'm not going to say his name actually. You may not want me to say it, but basically the guy. We met a guy who had what you would call a widowmaker heart attack. And it killed him. And it killed him, I think it was for 40-something minutes. And he was like, there was nothing. But I've spoken to other people who have had, who've died, and things have happened. So, hey, Stormy Eyes, why are you Stormy Chris? Ghosts are interdimensional space stuff we don't understand. Time slips. NDE is an eye-opener. Definitely changed my thoughts after that. So, hopefully this will be a typical Y files where he goes over the top into the this and this and this happened and this happened and it's real and blah, and then he does some debunking, or a lot of debunking. And hopefully the fish says something really inappropriate. I fucking love that fish. Zord Meg Beardo, thought in the back of my head, can ghosts and all that have been caused by a small amount of radiation that's over the background just long enough to get to the head and cause a ghost to appear? You'd have to ask smarter people than me. For more science-based explanations, I would ask Kenny Biddle, who is on YouTube. He's in the chat. If you type at Kenny, you'll see him in the chat. You should be able to find his channel. And he's got email addresses and everything there. Kenny's far smarter than I am. And if Kenny can't give you an answer, he knows places you can get it. Drinking many shots, being drunk? I mean, I got beer. Right, let's go with the Y-file. So, guys, shit, I should have done this sooner. Let me just grab the link. So I'm going to paste into the chat a link. This takes you to the Y-files video. Please go over there, check out the Y-files, check out the original content creator. Now, apparently I have to do this to fakers, and I don't do it. And apparently I get in trouble for it, especially by saying don't watch these shit. So I stopped doing that. But I will go out of my way to say go and watch the Y-files, go and watch channels like that. Super chats. Is this still something wrong with super chats? CRL did it. Oh, Cherry. I did, didn't I? Didn't I read that? I did not. Cherry Woods, thank you for the 1999. Hey, Beardo, that's the second one, right, Cherry? Cherry, I'm very sorry. And Jose Puerto Rican, I'm sorry. I'm not getting alerts. My stream element has broke, hasn't it? I'm not getting sound alerts. I do apologise. I only know South Park Kenny. Guys, if debunking is your thing, Kenny Biddle. Kenny Biddle and Dandolph, two of the greatest debunkers you'll ever watch. Kenny always comes in when he doesn't want to work. He works and lurks, okay? Any trigger warning? Oh, right. I don't know. I haven't watched this. I don't know if the mod... I decided this last week, didn't say anything to the mods. I've not even been in my own Discord. So, guys, just in case, because this is dealing with death, there may be some trigger warnings. Maybe. I don't think it's going to be as dark as the last one we watched. But if death is a trigger to you, trigger warning. The mods will probably warn people as they're coming in if more join in anyway. But let's go.
You wake up. Sleepiness fades as your eyes slowly open to a bright white light.
It's not really loud for you
and
guys.
It feels warm and familiar. It feels like home. And your whole family is there to meet you. Your entire life flashes before your eyes like scenes from a movie. The good, the bad, even the awful things you've done. But everything comes together. It finally makes sense. With this enormous weight off your shoulders.
Could you imagine, in your final minutes, you see the good and the bad that you've done? Nothing else, just the good and the bad. So you see your family, your loved ones, and... What happens if your name is Andrew when you run a channel called Proving Demons? It's just all the shit you've done, all the lies you've told. What a horrible experience that would be.
The memory of your life starts to fade, just like a dream. A familiar voice says, "We're happy you're here, we missed you, but you can't stay." What? You just got here, you're getting kicked out already? The voice says, "They need you, but we'll see you again when the time is right."
See, that's something I didn't consider. People who have an NDE, whether you believe in them or not, they have such a pleasant experience that when they get brought back, they're sad about it. Wow. You eat spray cheese. Ugh, dirty. Why can I see his lips moving but his voice sounds AI? I think some AI people have modeled their voices for YouTube on him because he's successful.
And you know, somehow the voice is telling the truth. Suddenly, a burst of red-hot pain rips through your chest. It feels...
Tracy Martin, thank you for the 79 pence. I really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. It's working. That guy is going south. I was not going to mention him again, but... Oh, fuck it. That was a rare. He recently put a post out on Facebook saying that he and his girlfriend are looking for OnlyFans models to bang. And I'm the piece of shit. I wouldn't share my missus with nobody. Backhand them. Get the fuck away from my woman. Respect your woman, idiot. Back to the video at hand.
Feels like every single cell in your body is on fire. You
Hey,
can't breathe.
Addy? Hello?
A scream forces your eyes open. It's a blood-curdling scream, like an animal being eaten alive. Then you realize the scream is coming from you.
Yeah, he posted that on Facebook. Have you seen the channel Coming Home? I have not. I have not. Thank you, Jolene. I've tried to get the PayPal donations to link. Apparently everything's working, but they never come up on stream. So if you want to donate the PayPal and get it to flash up on screen, it doesn't work and I can't get it. You'd bang an OnlyFans model, just not on cap. Thanks, Cheryl. Cheryl, you're kind of like a little sister to me, Mrs. Geeker. I do not want that thought in my head. Thank you very, very much.
You're in a hospital bed surrounded by doctors and nurses. They all take a step back, stunned. They're staring at you. But why? Well, you just came back from the dead. Yeah, I know.
I'd love to know what happened to me, Beardo. It terrified me. Yeah, Will to Rights. Will to Rights there. He's emailed me. I'll never disclose his email publicly. It was a private conversation, but what an ordeal he went through. Socks on or off. I hate feet, but I don't... Stop asking weird questions, chat.
I wasn't driving. I get it. I know. I'll pay for the damages.
Right, Shopify.
Human. Oh, hey, I dorsal fin dialed you. I'll catch you on the flip.
Hold on a minute.
Crap.
I was going to skip this ad, but it's the fish.
So, what's new with you?
Is there anything you want to tell me?
Thank you for giving Gertie those hump warmers for Christmas. That was very thoughtful of you.
Are we just gonna pretend that I didn't open my garage this morning and find you, Gertie, and the Beaver Brothers and about 1,000 boxes?
Oh, it's just for a little while. Don't get your panties in a wad.
You let the Beaver Brothers drive my car. They found it a block away on someone's lawn.
Hey, Wyatt is a fantastic driver, but I admit Morgan has a bit of a lead paw. And it reminds me, can you call in a favor with the PD and get his speeding ticket handled?
I think we're getting off topic. What are you doing in my garage?
Well, I seen how great the merch and the Wi-Fi...
Are all of his merch adverts this good? Why have I been skipping them?
online store is, so I decided to start my own merch business.
Hey, Joe Vitale.
So for right now, I gotta sell out of our garage.
My garage.
Oh, you say potato. Anywho, it's just until sales take off, and I can open my own brick-and-mortar warehouse.
Why don't you just use Shopify?
Oh, I got the sneaking suspicion that is today's sponsor.
Lucky for you, those boxes for my garage.
Well, maybe you don't, but I got a business to run.
No, you can't. Wait, does Virgil have my underwear?
Virgil, I told you socks and underwears have to go in Ziploc bags to seal in the freshness.
You better not.
Joe's really fucking mental. Yeah, you can buy Heckle fish plushes. I spent a good portion of last week trying to animate Pete. I tried to animate Pete's mouth. I can't do it yet. The most replayed section of this video is the ad. Everyone skips ads.
Religious, like Noah's flood, or cultural, like the Choctaw Native American flood story, they all got them. Since every culture has a flood myth, many scientists no longer think it's just a story. The flood myth was probably an actual historical event. And just like the flood myth, every religion and culture on Earth has a story of the afterlife. And the more consistent the story, the more likely it is to be true. Most religions and cultures attach a social aspect to the afterlife. Ancient Egyptians believed in...
See, I watched something about ancient civilizations where we had tech, different tech to what we've got now, but tech far more advanced, and it it blew my mind. And I didn't even know where to start with researching how real this could or couldn't be. But wow, was it entertaining. But if that flat earther in my comment section is in this video and you come in here and say something about the earth being flat, I swear to God, I'll ban you. By all means, have your opinions, but when you start attacking my other community members for not believing in your fucking nonsense, space is a cartoon. Grow up. I believe in ghosts, and I'm telling you to grow up.
Aru, or the Field of Reeds.
Ah, that's the one with Kevin Costner in the corn, right?
No, that was Field of Dreams.
Ah, right.
They saw it as
If you build it, they will come.
Could you let me get through this?
Sorry, I couldn't resist the reference. Continue.
Egyptians saw Aru
Thank you for the subscription, Michael Lewis. Thank you for subscribing, Infuriated Fun.
as the perfect world, an idealized version of how we live today.
Cheryl, I haven't banned him because he's fun. But he's starting to go at other commenters quite hard. And if he keeps it up, he's out of here.
Here your soul was granted eternal paradise, but only if you pass the
Danny.
test. When your soul first leaves your body, Anubis appears beside you. He then guides you from your tomb to wait on the line of souls.
Yeah, sounds more like the DMV than paradise.
Please don't.
Now serving Soul B125. Soul B125, please go to window 11 for processing.
You were given water and
That fish is great. An advert for an episode a while back that was brilliant. It was X-Files Men in Black rolled into an advert with Hecklefish and AG. No, Ancient Apocalypse for me.
comforted by other deities as the line got shorter and shorter. When it was your turn, you were led to the Hall of Truth. This is where Osiris, Thoth, and Ma'at weighed your heart on the scales of justice. If your soul was virtuous, your heart would be very light. It would need to be. It's weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth
Evening Ho. That probably sounded really wrong. Ho25, I'll call it.
and justice. You were deemed unworthy of paradise if your heart was heavier than the feather. Then Amut would eat your heart. Amut was a part lion, crocodile,
Is it wrong that everything he's saying here is just reminding me of Moon Knight? We are watching the Y-Files, not suitable for mum. Got to shoot beer, I'll catch up later. Later, Tim, I appreciate you, my friend.
hippopotamus monster. If you were virtuous, you, or more specifically your soul, was free to enter Aru. If the story
Earth is flat, you can't curve water. If that's not a joke, get a pint glass, fill it with water, as full as you can get it on a surface. Just keep pouring it. Look directly at the line of sight with the glass and watch how the water is higher than the glass. There's a little curve to it.
of Journey and Judgment sounds familiar, it's because the same story is told in almost all major religions. While you await judgment, there's usually a holding area. For Catholics, it's purgatory. Inuits and some Native American tribes describe a long road, which they see as the Milky Way. In ancient Greece, before your
It was a joke, right? You got me.
soul reached the underworld, you had to cross the River Styx.
On board, I'm the captain, so climb aboard. We'll search for tomorrow on every shore, and I'll try, oh Lord, I'll try.
That's enough.
Okay, take it easy. I wasn't gonna be able to hit that next note anyway.
I'm not sure you hit any of those notes. When we've passed the holding area, our souls are judged based on how we lived our life on Earth. With the help of deities like St. Peter, we do a sort of life review. If
Without judgment, there is no shame. Without shame, there is no control to be had.
we've lived good lives, we're gifted a pleasurable afterlife. If we
Hey, Shannon Elizabeth, I'm not sure what's going on. I've obviously missed this, very busy, but I hope whatever is going on works out for the better. I really do.
lived poorly or outside the bounds of religious or cultural norms, we're sent to the bad place.
Is it true the water drains back? Mrs. Geek, if you're talking about Australia and the toilets flushing counterclockwise, I believe that's a myth that was started by The Simpsons. I believe. If Kenny's in the chat, he'll clear that right up.
Either to learn from our mistakes or to suffer for eternity. Not every religion works this way, though. In Buddhism, souls are...
Jennifer Taylor, you leave the fish alone. Hecklefish is a legend. I almost prefer him to AJ.
Reincarnated over and over again. Live a good life, and in the next one, you'll get an upgrade. Live a bad life, and your next life will be more difficult. Once you live a life free from desire, attachment, and ignorance, you can escape the cycle of reincarnation and reach nirvana.
See, now here's where I would break into a little Smells Like Teen Spirit, but it's too soon for another musical break.
Thank God for small favors.
With the lights do, do-we-do-do, here we are, do, booty-boo-boo.
Most atheists will tell
Hecklefish, you do not get nirvana wrong.
you there's nothing after death, just the black void. But most people, including myself, feel there's something more.
It does flush backwards, but it's due to how the drains are designed and nothing to do with the hemispheres. Wait. There was truth to that? The fish is a tinfoil hat. Absolutely.
Something waiting for us on the other side. For almost all of human history, there is no way to prove the existence of an afterlife. We'd have to bring someone back from the dead to do that. But death is final, right? Nope.
Must have lived an evil life last night. I had a near-death experience where I nearly drowned in a swimming pool. Shit, didn't realise this was on. Ferret? No worries. Life of purgatory, been there, done that. My first marriage. I concur, Justin. Not your first marriage. But I concur. I ain't getting into that level of shit. They flash backwards. I'm going to have to look into
In
this.
1943,
Sophie Cantlow, thank you for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
young Army recruit George G. Ritchie was left unattended in an isolation room for 24 hours. He'd been brought in with an extreme case of pneumonia. Because no one treated him,
This is Geek Bearder wants that fish for Christmas.
George died. He was only 20 years old. The medical staff gathered around his lifeless body. They were devastated and worried about fallout. George's death could have been avoided. One medical officer pulled a sheet over George's face and officially called his time of death.
What if we're in purgatory now? I mean, that would explain Proving Demons, Sam and Colby, Ghost Theory, Exploring with Fighters. Take your fucking pick.
The officer instructed an attendant to prepare George's body for the morgue, and everyone left the room. 9 minutes later, the attendant
Mrs. Geek, the reason you can't type is you have been doing the front garden all day. All day.
returned. In the corner of his eye, he noticed something.
Oh, what a feeling.
Was George's chest moving?
Fish is dancing
Well,
on the
it
ceiling.
couldn't be. They checked his vital signs multiple times and nothing. Still, something didn't feel quite right. The attendant checked again. George was dead, but for whatever reason, the attendant still had an odd feeling that something was off. George was given a shot of adrenaline.
I do apologise for the face then, but there was a naked foot and there was itty bits on it. Disgusting.
George woke up with a bang. He sat right up and got on his feet. He was drowsy but fully recovered from pneumonia. The only thing on his mind was returning to Virginia to finish his Army medical training. While George was on his way back, he stopped at a small town to ask for directions. But everyone he spoke to just ignored him, like he was invisible.
Ah.
But what was this beeping noise ringing over and over again in George's ear? It wasn't there when he began the journey. How did he begin the journey again? He was
His heart
flying,
rate started.
or was he driving? He couldn't remember. The beeping was getting louder until it turned into a deafening roar. It was medical equipment. George was training to be a medic, and he knew the sound was from a heart monitor. George never left the hospital. He was lying in the same bed he died in just 4 days earlier. The adrenaline kick-started his heart, and he started breathing again. Though George was officially dead for quite a while, he made a full recovery. In 1965, George told his story to one of his postgraduate psychiatry students, a man named Raymond Moody. Moody was fascinated, so much that he dedicated the rest of his career to figuring out what happens on the other side.
I don't mind saying that after talking with over 1,000 people who have had these experiences, and having experienced many times some of the really baffling and unusual features of these experiences, it has given me great confidence that there is a life.
Can I? From here? No. Right, 2 seconds. Let me just change the screen. Because I want to see if I can remember how to do a poll in the chat. And I just want to get the ratio of who believes in NDEs and who doesn't. Create... Nope. That's uploading a video. I don't want to do that. Right, where's the poll? Engage with your audience. Start a poll. We're doing a poll, chat. Yes, no, start poll. Right, so there's a poll going live in the chat right now. Do you believe in NDE, near-death experiences? Cast your votes. I don't know how long this is going to run for. Near-death experience, NDE. Did I say NDE?
After death. As a matter of fact, I must confess to you in all honesty, I have absolutely no doubt
Near-death experience, NDE.
out on the basis of what my patients have told me that they did get a glimpse of the beyond.
Click on the poll.
Moody called this phenomenon a near-death experience, or NDE, coining the term in his 1975 book, Life After Life. His work inspired countless others to collect massive amounts of data on people who technically
I run the poll as long as I want. Cool.
died but were revived. One of these researchers is Dr. Michael Sabom, who's written several books on NDEs. Sabom's research is where things start to get interesting. Sabom interviewed people who'd suffered cardiac arrest, died, and claimed to have had an out-of-body experience, an NDE. These patients were asked to describe their resuscitation. What was happening in the room? Who was there? What sounds did they recall? The patients' answers were compared to those of a control group who had also suffered cardiac crisis and were revived, but without temporary death. Patients in the control group gave vague, mostly incorrect answers. They were guessing what happened to them. They didn't really know.
It's back.
But
Stop
the
shouting at
NDE
me.
group, they
It's
described
back.
the resuscitations almost perfectly, like they were in the room, separate from their bodies, watching themselves come back to life. The accuracy was enough for Sabom to conduct further studies. And like Raymond Moody, Sabom inspired others to repeat his research. If multiple researchers independently conduct similar or exactly the same experiment, and they all find the same results, then it's
I've died twice, and I had what I would call an out-of-body experience. Who's putting a movie on? My mum nearly died in 1976. She gave me all sorts of info that she said she saw while she was out cold. She said she could see me, and I was looking at her body. Were you actually looking at a body, though, for it to make sense to an NDE? Or were you not, and it was just her brain shutting down, and that was a false memory implanted? Interesting question. Rebecca Keynes, thank you for the $30.99. I appreciate that. Yes, let's be honest. Anything is possible. There's a book by a surgeon whose patients had vivid NDEs. Sadie's trying to find what book it is. What will the culture say about NDE? I'm hoping to find out from this, because he tends to do his homework. The video's not playing, fuck's sake.
hard to refute the truth. This is precisely what happened with Sabom's study. Over the years, researchers have asked thousands of patients to describe events surrounding their NDEs. And despite being dead, these patients are roughly 92 to 97% accurate in their observations.
Ooh.
Doctors and nurses have also come forward with some pretty spooky stories. Dr. Carl Green, a neurosurgeon,
That's a high percentage, right? I mean, I'm not saying there's a high percentage of people are experiencing an afterlife. There's a high percentage of people experience something, whether it's their brain shutting down, yet somehow they're aware of what's going on around them. I don't know. But that's a high percentage.
had a patient flatline and then describe her entire
I'll give you the
surgery
family time.
down to the most intricate
Family time's more
details.
important.
And Green is not alone. Patients often have out-of-body experiences during surgeries where they temporarily die. This happened to my dad.
Flatline is an awesome movie.
My pop loved Harley.
Water revolutions clockwise and anti-clockwise are true. At the equator, water runs straight down a plug hole called the Coriolis effect. Is that true? Work in
Dad's
healthcare,
first
you'll
wreck,
believe?
a teenage
My wife works in healthcare. She works in a care home for the elderly.
girl ran a stop sign. She hit him square. His leg was
Hey, there's
severed and
Castrol.
reattached. Mamas don't let your babies grow up to be bikers. Almost 20 years later, an SUV ran a light, hit him square. Same side. This time was worse. Way worse.
Hey, Kaz.
Dad was airlifted from the scene and died in the helicopter. They defibbed him and brought him back, but he lost so much blood
Hey,
they
Vidrana.
didn't.
Julianne, hello. I died and brought back. Real CPR hurts. My entire chest was bruised. My ribs were bruised. Had an experience that I will not forget. It was real. Well, a lot of people get their ribs broke during CPR.
think he'd make it to the hospital.
Read an NDE about a guy who could see everything from the ceiling and noticed a folder on top of the cabinet. When he recovered, he told the staff it was there and it was not visible. Ooh, not a biker if you got a trike. I completely disagree. A lot of people only ride trikes because of accidents. I met a gentleman today who did my air conditioning who's having from below his knee amputated, and he's looking into getting a trike because he won't be able to ride anymore. So a lot of people do it because of disablement, so they're absolutely still riders. I was hit by a vehicle. I thought I saw myself floating above my body, but I felt like it was a dream waking up. See, I got run over in 1992. It's when I broke my back the first time. And I had a very weird experience, but I didn't die. I was just knocked out cold and broke a lot of bones. But I had this really weird dream-like thing with in my grandparents' living room. I didn't die. I never died. Nowhere near death. Just in a lot of pain and unconscious. But I had a very weird dream-like state. For some reason, my English teacher was in my grandparents' house. And that makes me kind of like, is it just your brain? Because my brain clearly had an injury. And I had this dream-like status.
He did, but just barely. During surgery, he flatlined again.
It should be noted that that English teacher actually went to my grandparents' house to tell them I'd been run over. So, I don't know. But am I remembering it that way because I got told after, but I remember it while I was laying in the road? Not sure.
He said he felt weightless and realized he was watching his operation. But then he
Meds? There was no meds. I was waiting for an ambulance at the time. It could be the meds in regards to the hospital, yeah.
felt a pull. He turned and saw his mother, who had been gone a long time.
Hey, Deathstalker.
He said, "Mom, I hurt real bad. I can't do it." She said, "Yes, you can. It's not your time yet." They got Dad's heart started again and brought him back. He said the experience was more real than real life. But sometimes people do more than just float a few feet above their bodies. Some people have described events that took place down the hall from their deathbed or in a different room in the hospital. So not only do our souls have weight, they stick around to watch our physical bodies die. And we don't just stay in the room, we wander. And while we wander, we're not alone.
There's big debunks
Almost
coming. I
all
can feel
NDEs
it.
follow a similar pattern. It starts with the sensation of absolute peace and calm as you enter a bright white light. Through the light, you enter a tunnel, and your physical body is left behind. In 1791, British Admiral Sir Francis Beaufort almost drowned. After he was revived, he described a feeling as, in his words, the most perfect tranquility. He felt no bodily pain. His physical senses were gone, but his mind was very active. The Admiral saw his life pass before his eyes in reverse. This is a common theme in NDEs. Your life plays either in reverse chronological order or starts from your birth until your death.
Now, see, that, the whole life playing in reverse, to me is just your brain starting to shut down and organizing before it turns off. Kind of like rebooting a computer, and it backs everything up before it reboots, because computers are man-made. That's my thoughts on that. It's the stuff where people are like reading notes that are on top of cabinets that they couldn't see. That's what gets me really interested. And not everyone sees a bright light, as Juliana said. Hello there, Emma Rose, evening Beardo. Sorry I'm late. I was stabbed and I flatlined twice, but I can't remember anything. Although I do believe in NDE, I can't remember or recall anything weird, just pain. See, 77% of people believe in an NDE. 77% of people in this chat. 90% of people experience it, but is it paranormal?
Once the show is over, you see yourself.
It's your brain filing through memories looking for something to survive. If you have that experiencing your life in reverse order, 100% agree. But those people that see things in different buildings, they see their families in different buildings, and they can discuss the surroundings and what was being said. That blows my mind. The guy in chat that was like, yeah, I had an NDE, and I told them about a file on top of a cabinet. I could read it and told them what was on it, but it was out of line of sight. That's fucking weird, right? Hey, Pedabont Ross, how are you doing?
Completely. Really for the first time ever. And then you move on. And on the other side, people are waiting for you. Dr. Mary Neal drowned while kayaking in Chile. She was technically dead for 30 minutes, long enough for her body to turn blue before being pulled from the water.
And then I was released to the heavens. My spirit rose up and out of the river, and I was immediately greeted by a group of people or spirits who had known me and loved me as long as I have existed.
Genuinely, if I ever have some form of accident that gives me an NDE, or some health scare that gives me an NDE, I hope it only plays the last sort of 15 years of my life. My time with Mrs. Geek, and a little bit before, where I was like, right, I've been single for the first time in ages. That was a fun time. And then I met my wife, and there's a bit in between I'd cut out as well. There's a lot of it I'd like to skip. I don't need to replay all of it. Jesus Christ. You have an NDE, your brain rolls back, and then you get the paddles, and you wake up and you go, I shit myself in school. I never shit myself in school. But imagine that's one of your memories, and it's the last one when they hit you with the paddles. What a horrible experience. Like, the afterlife is real. It told me I shit my pants. I don't know why we always go to shit, but there we go.
Seeing people on the other side is almost always...
I mean, I had a very strange happening when my mum died. It's caused me a lot of uncertainty ever since. I will never ever tell you there's nothing in the afterlife. Ever. If you believe you've experienced something with your mum in visitation, I'll never take that from you. You did.
Always a positive experience. Minister Don Piper was driving home to Alvin, Texas one night and was hit by an 18-wheeler in a head-on collision. His body became part of the car. Actually, his thigh bone ended up somewhere on the road behind him.
Oh.
As he entered the white light, loved ones also met him. They were waiting for him next to a large, ornate gate. And it wasn't a short trip. Don spent 30 minutes in heaven. In the West, most people describe what is essentially heaven after they die. But just like all ancient cultures, everyone interprets their experience based on their personal biases and background. A Christian will say he saw Jesus in heaven. An atheist will enter something like a bright white ether. Muslims go to Jannah, while there's something or someone with us. Emery was a first-year law student who liked fast cars. After lying to her parents and...
It's kind of weird that atheists see the bright white light and not heaven, yet Christians see heaven. So is that your brain's interpretation of shutting off and just making you comfortable that it gives you what you believe in?
Boyfriend about what she was doing, she went out driving with friends. Halfway through the drive, she had a sudden urge to go home. Her friends agreed, but on the way, there was an accident.
So what happens if an atheist, a complete disbeliever in religion like myself, has an NDE and you see the pearly gates? Do you then come out of that Christian? But can you chalk that down to, especially people my age and older, school teaches you religion. And it's drummed into you. It's not so prevalent now. Is it still just your memories sorting things out? This is absolutely fascinating.
Emery's body
Don't ever apologise for the caps. It's never an issue, yeah.
was thrown through the windshield. She got to her feet covered in blood and walked.
Terry Pratchett wrote A Fantastic Death. You got what you believed in, proper brutal. Sam, I've just realised who you are. I believe it was you and Carrie that got me into Terry Pratchett in the first place.
Over to where her friends were sitting.
Ronnie.
She felt like she'd been unconscious and had the strangest dreams. She asked her friends what was happening, but no one would speak. Her parents pulled up a short while later, and even though paramedics tried to stop him, Emery's father was running. She followed his gaze and realized he was running toward a body. She chased after him. He was on his knees sobbing over her. Emery was dead. Between his tears, her father said, "Why are you doing this?" Out of nowhere, a voice replied, "This was the agreement." Emery's father said, "No, it wasn't. The agreement was that I would watch them grow old, but never live to experience this." Emery knew her father wasn't having this conversation out loud. It was happening in his subconscious. He didn't even know he was speaking. It was his soul speaking to someone. The voice started to disappear into a place she couldn't quite see, but Emery knew it was there. She tried to follow it. The voice was so calming and peaceful, but her world was slowly fading to black. The next time she woke up, she was in the ICU. Thousands of people have had NDEs. You can get lost for hours reading about them online. They sound serene, life-altering.
I just want to say I truly enjoy your videos and enjoy debunking some of my favourite YouTubers. Still watch them, but only for entertainment, not because I believe any longer. Hey, Melmo's World, enjoy what you want to enjoy. Absolutely enjoy what you want to enjoy. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't watch. I just look for common sense in it all. But some of them are lying bastards. Good evening, Pastor Pervert. My dad is agnostic and saw nothing. It's all about your subconscious processes crap and chooses to relate what your body is experiencing to you and the chemicals released by your brain. But surely, if your dad is agnostic, which I'm not saying he's wrong for being agnostic by any stretch of the imagination, but if this is something scientific, if this is something chemically induced by your brain shutting down, then shouldn't somebody agnostic or atheist still experience something? Shouldn't they still, 90% of agnostics across the thousands of them die a day, shouldn't they all experience, or 90% of them experience this? Shouldn't they see a white tunnel or the life in reverse? Because if we're looking from one agnostic not experiencing there, and maybe he just didn't. The guy I talked to the other day, and I felt awful asking him, but I thought I got to ask since you said you died for 45 minutes. Was there anything? He's like, nah. But he believes in the paranormal. Absolutely. But he doesn't anymore after his experience.
Usually in a good way.
Lie. Oh, yeah, of course people are going to lie. Of course they are. What better way to get into a newspaper by saying, I died for however long and experienced this, that, the other. Then you end up on This Morning, and the bitch of Ed Fielding can turn up just behind you and be like, You're a liar because the only person that can experience the paranormal is me and Carl Beatty. Bitch. Yeah, I seen that clip.
I'm Don Piper, and I died on January 18th, 1989.
Don Piper says he was depressed for a long time after he came back to life. But in time, he realized how valuable dying had been to him, to his soul. He felt sick.
We have aphantasia, so we can't picture things in our brain like some. I'm sorry, I don't know what context that's in regards to. Very sorry. If you can explain it again, but me, hopefully I'll see it. One of the doctors who was working with me in the operating theatre said he lost me and the machines were glitching once he was able to revive and stabilise. The machines went back to normal. Another pole bearder who believes in God. I'm not doing that world to rights because I'm not anti-religion. I'm anti-organised religion. That's going to start argument. I don't want to start arguments. We can believe what we want to believe. But yeah, I don't want to go down the religious political route because religion is full of politics now.
Saved, especially knowing we're never actually alone. But you can't just
I'd have met Jesus. YouTube is full of, yeah, attention seekers.
Go and have a near-death experience whenever you want to. And
I was one of a near-death experience when he had sepsis. He isn't sure what he believes. All he saw was him walking through a tunnel.
NDE requires a certain type of permission because not everyone goes into the light. Some people go somewhere else.
Approving demons, pay attention. Your next stop, bitch.
Howard Storm woke up in his hospital bed. It was 1985. He was in Paris with his wife on what he thought was a romantic vacation, even though he just invited her on a college field trip for his students. But that was Howard.
Hey, listen, Ferret, if you met Jesus from the Big Lebowski, you were living the dream. That book is called The Proof of Heaven. It's a neurosurgeon's journey into the afterlife. That sounds really interesting. Come on in the mods, screen grab, or write down. The book is called Proof of Heaven, a neurosurgeon's journey into the afterlife. That sounds interesting.
He didn't really get romance. He'd always been a difficult man. He was rarely happy, quick to anger, and in many ways
Right, the aphantasia was in regard to my dad being agnostic and seeing nothing. Not being able to picture things in our brains might explain why he saw nothing. Right, agnostic is not believing in anything. So why can't you picture... I don't know if I'm reading that wrong or understanding it wrong. But if I was agnostic, surely I could still picture things in my brain, right? That's a whole different tangent. I'm not religious, but I think we are spirits for the human experience. I don't know what I think. I really don't. And as I've said a few times recently, death terrifies me. My wife working in a care home and watching people degrade, and it's a scary, scary thought. You sort of hit your mid-40s and all the people you grew up idolizing start to die off, and you start going to more funerals than weddings, and it reminds you of your own mortality. And especially the last 3 or 4 years, I've discovered that I'm terrified of death. And I want to believe there's more. I don't want to think that we're dead and then there's worm food or flambe. I want there to be more. And the fact that I believe that I have seen and experienced things makes me think there is more. And it's a very warming thought that this isn't the end. Just my thoughts.
Taken after his father, who was aggressive when Howard was young. Howard's anger was with him in his hospital bed. He was annoyed at his wife for closing the curtains. And why was she just sitting there crying at the foot of the bed? What reason did she have to be sad? This wasn't happening to her. A few hours ago, Howard was screaming in agony due to a perforated intestine. At the hospital, Howard was told he needed surgery immediately, otherwise...
You couldn't sleep during the night your grandmother died. Could that be connected? Potentially, yeah. A lot of people have this feeling that they know that it's coming. They know that a family member has died when they weren't ill, or they just know. The phone will ring and they're like, I knew that was coming and I know who's died. Maybe that's the soul. Maybe that's the afterlife knowing. I was really close with both of my grandparents, and both of them were very ill, and both of those calls caught me completely off guard. I had no prior inkling, no feeling, nothing. And I believe, so...
He'd be dead within 5 hours. Somehow the hospital lost track of him. He lay there for 10 hours, his body slowly digesting itself. But he felt a lot better now, still angry, just healthier. And he wanted some sunlight and some fresh air. He got to his feet and went to open the windows, but something was wrong. His wife was still ignoring him. He could feel something
Right, he's agnostic and has aphantasia, a condition when a person is unable... Right, that makes more sense. Unable to visualize mental images. It's characterized by the absence of voluntary visual imagery. They can't create pictures in the mind's eye. Oh, I've never heard of that. Beardo, agnostic is unsure, not non-believers. I thought agnostic was non-believing. Still learning, guys, still learning. Energy cannot be destroyed, that's scientific truth. I find it really comforting that when our bodies go to energy, that is us, we will still exist, even if we don't understand how yet. Very comforting thought. The Einstein quote, that's very similar to that, has been taken out of context. I used to take it out of context, though.
Radiating off her, like an energy field of rage that he'd never seen before. What does she have to be sad and angry?
I'm sorry for pausing. Contacting the human spirit is real and proven. Zach July, with the greatest of respect, and I'm not picking an argument here, if it was proven, this channel wouldn't exist. No ghost hunting channel would exist. It's not real. I'm not saying it's not real. That's wrong. It's unproven.
About, Howard kept asking himself.
Agnostic is unsure. See, I always thought agnostic. I've never identified as agnostic because I assumed agnostic was you didn't believe. Almost like not caring either. And that's wrong. So I am agnostic then, because you're unsure. I'm unsure.
Deal with her right now. So he went into the hallway to find a doctor to give them a piece of his mind.
How deep is this?
As he turned the corner into the hallway, a sensation hit him. He was never going back in that hospital room. Not ever again. He didn't know how he knew this. He just did. The hallway was dark. Howard could see dim flickering, but something was blocking the light. As he focused, he saw them. Faceless beings dressed in black robes. At the sight of them, he fell to the ground. Everything felt heavy. He knew these beings, whatever they were here for him, and they were dragging him back to hell. Remember that scene in Ghost? It was just like that.
Right, say what you want about that film. Yes, it's a chick flick. Yes, it's a tearjerker. Those fucking things were terrifying. I watched this as a kid and they doing the clay thing, and I was like, this film fucking sucks. And then this happened, and then the guy, get off my train! And I was like, holy fuck! I don't like this film. It took me years to be able to watch the rest of it, and it sucked. What did Wisdom say? Hey, Beard, I woke up sick today, strep tonsillitis. My mum had an NDE, full death experience. She said, I'm sorry, She said she saw family that passed away. She went through chronic freezing to restart her brain. Ooh, interesting. Ghost as an adult is a good movie. It's a chick flick, but it's a good chick flick. And I'm sorry, every bastard that got dragged off by them things in that film deserved it.
I prefer Roadhouse.
Please, no zingers while I'm being dramatic.
Sorry, mijo.
Roadhouse. Kick everyone in the face.
The dim lights got dimmer and dimmer until Howard was in pure darkness. He heard a voice say,
"We're almost there."
Suddenly the darkness lifted, and Howard was in a vast hellscape filled with horrors even nightmares couldn't create. There were humanoid-looking monsters ripping him apart.
But were you experiencing pain while this was happening?
Yeah, and it was horrible. It was horrible. Literally being torn apart.
Oh, Howard, what did you do in your life? If he's experienced that, what has he done in his life? Because if he's a good guy that's never done anything wrong and he's experienced that, that goes more to the skeptical.
Howard didn't believe in God.
Hey, Claire, how you
He
doing?
did as a kid, but grew out of it. But he was desperate and prayed for help. And help arrived. Howard was pulled out of the darkness and into the light. He was shown his life, which was a disappointment and a failure.
Howard, you're watching your life literally as a movie before you?
Absolutely. And not only did I see my life, but I could also see like my mother's feelings and how I
Point Break is better.
How I hurt her. I never wanted to hurt my mother.
Howard wanted to stay in this place where he felt nothing but kindness, compassion, and love. But he was told he had to go back and make things right. Then his soul returned to his body. Very few near-death experiences take place in hell, but those who end up there often follow a similar path. In the lead up to death, there's an emotional trauma. Sometimes it's drug abuse, alcoholism, self-abuse, or just being a terrible person.
What was that guy doing when he was drinking out of that bottle? He was fucking.
Howard, people describe being lost, wandering a desolate
Flatliners
landscape.
is an amazing
They
film.
hear endless screams. Some come from creatures that look like they were human once, but no longer. Descriptions of hell sound similar to the ancient Egyptian process of death. They walk through the Hall of Truths to be judged. Their hearts were weighed, and their hearts were devoured. If there really is a hell, as described by so many cultures and religions, that's a terrifying thought. It makes me worry about how heavy my heart will be compared to a feather. But skeptics will argue that's the point. They say religions and ancient rulers invented the concept of heaven and hell. Maintaining order in societies of thousands and millions of people is difficult. If people believe in hell, they'll behave and be easier to control. Since McDougall's 21 grams experiment, researching death has been taboo. So there aren't a lot of scientific studies that...
Right, the 21 grams experiment. I believe some people think that that is a measurement where you can tell that the soul has left the body. But I think in actual fact, what that is you expel all of your air. All of your air. Sorry, screaming on roller coasters yesterday. You expel all of your air and your bladder and your bowels. I think that explains that.
Try to explain what happens after we die. But that would change with a study published in May of this year. A group of scientists measured and mapped the brain activity of dying patients. They proved that after the body shuts down completely, the brain becomes more alive than ever.
But is that not your brain just fighting to try and keep you alive? Because your body has its own built-in system to keep you alive no matter what, whether it's fight or flight or fear. Fear is there not to scare you, but to keep you alive, to keep you on edge. So when you're dying, yeah, your brain is going to go into overdrive because your brain knows your body is shut off and it's trying to fire something back up. I think. Right, this may run over because we've got another 20 minutes left and only 30 minutes on stream. We may have to go over tonight to get through this. I'm sorry, I've talked over so much.
Scientists haven't figured out how our brains work. We know what parts of our brain light up when we're engaged in different activities, but we don't know how or why this happens. What energy source forms our thoughts and feelings and memories and reactions? Scientists are still trying to figure out, does cell activity produce the mind, or does the mind create cell activity? And what is the human mind? Are minds just another way of describing our souls? Is our soul consciousness? Are they the same thing, or are they separate? And when we die, does our consciousness die but our soul lives on? Nobody really knows. In May 2023, a study was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Dr. Jimo Borjgin and her team study consciousness. They wanted to know what's the minimum process required to create consciousness in our physical brain. The study involved 4 patients who were in comas and on life support and nearing the end. These patients were chosen because, while they weren't fully brain dead, they were completely unresponsive to any stimuli. There's a scale used to assess a person's level of consciousness after a head injury. It's called the Glasgow Coma Score. These 4 patients had the lowest score possible. All of them had...
It will create imaginary people in order to keep you alive in extreme circumstances. The body keeps the score is a good read. Cheryl, can you grab that as well, please? This is the Y files. There's a link pinned to the top of the chat. Please go over and subscribe, leave a comment. You don't have to say Beardo sent you or anything of the sort. Just go and support the original creator, because this is absolutely fantastic again. In fact, I think this is my personal favourite that I've watched from him.
Severe brain injuries. With the permission of their families, these 4 people's brains were scanned as they were taken off life support. While in a coma, their brain scans looked like this. The left side of the chart is brainwave frequency. The bottom number indicates the number of seconds left before the patient dies. Red indicates high brain activity, and orange indicates less activity. Then green, then blue is no activity.
Rainbow, there is a medium in the chat. There is.
So a comatose patient on life support has activity mainly at the lower frequencies. This is autonomic motor functions like breathing, heartbeat, and hormone regulation. Basically the things the body does on its own. Consciousness, on the other hand, occurs at higher frequencies. So the patients were taken off life support, and something strange happened that surprised the scientists. There is a sudden surge in brain activity at the higher frequencies. Remember, the body is now shutting down. The heart and lungs have stopped, but the brain is lighting up. Something is happening to this patient about 10 minutes before brain death. There's suddenly more activity across the entire spectrum, and then for a few seconds...
It's the brain fighting to live. When they took my meat off life support, all activity died and the heart was the last thing to die. A Iraq war veteran was alive and talking and thinking that his brain was destroyed completely in an explosion. Doctors then learned the heart could think. Oh. I don't even know what to say to that. Hey, Gingy, where the fuck have you been?
A spike, highly active brain activity.
Going into panic mode.
Then the activity settles down again. So it's easy to dismiss this spike as an anomaly. Maybe some randomly firing neurons are freaking out that there's no oxygen getting to the brain anymore. But then this happens.
Yeah, but what's this there? Or maybe... So is this where they turn it off and then there's random... What the fuck is that? Let's watch.
The patient's entire brain lights up. Very high activity across the spectrum. This patient has been medically dead for 12 or 13 minutes, but their brain is fully alive and engaged. Again, a skeptic might say this is just random neurons desperately clinging to life, but that's not what's happening at all. Only specific parts of the patient's brain were active. The scientists saw activity in their somatosensory cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex.
Oh, any idiot would have told you that would happen.
Are you being sarcastic?
Of course I'm being sarcastic. Explain to the people about the tomato sensory.
I'm glad Hecklefish said exactly what I was thinking. What the fuck did you just say?
somatosensory.
What'd I say?
The somatosensory cortex processes information from your senses, like touch, pressure, pain, and temperature. This part of the brain even processes proprioception, which senses your body's position. This part of the brain is activated when engaging in physical activities like sports and exercising.
That part of my brain is very lapse.
Your body needs to be aware of its position, movement, and balance. It's active when using fine motor skills, like writing, typing, drawing, or playing a musical instrument. This patient is dead, yet their brain is acting like their body is engaged in physical activity.
Like floating above the bed, walking down a tunnel.
Right. And the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, that part of the brain is used for problem solving and decision making. It assesses risk, weighs pros and cons, and considers different outcomes. This is also the part of the brain used for language and communication.
Telling Beast, thank you very, very much for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And more than simple communication, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is used to construct complex ideas and engage in debate. This patient's brain, this dead patient's brain, is engaged in highly complicated thought and reasoning as well as physical motion. But what was it? The brain activity wasn't random. It was organized and specific. Scans showed messages were being sent back and forth to the patient's posterior cerebral cortex. Researchers believe this area of the brain is required for conscious perception, visual and sound processing, understanding spoken language, and integrating sensory information and movement.
Fry the fish? I don't press buttons, White Chair, when I'm doing reactions. You should have banned. Life is good right now for Gingy. Having to hear that.
These patterns are almost identical to what we see in healthy brains that are dreaming. This is also a pattern similar to epileptics who have an out-of-body experience. Not only were these patients dead, but they died with brain damage, and there was no brain activity before life support was disconnected. None. But for a few minutes after death, their brains lit up like Times Square. Finally, brain activity slows, and then about 5 minutes later, it completely stops. But
this was in all patients, yeah?
For about 3 minutes, this previously comatose, now medically deceased person had an extremely vivid conscious experience and showed no sign of brain damage at all. In their mind, their body was moving. Their senses were engaged. They could smell, they could feel touch. They were seeing and hearing something. They were having a conversation with someone. And that takes us back to the beginning. The big question, who are they talking to?
I feel a big debunk and I'm not gonna like it.
Is there a scientific explanation for near-death experiences, or is something supernatural at work? Near-death experiences are described the same way in every culture and have been since the beginning of recorded history. Common features include floating above your body, traveling through a tunnel toward a bright light, feelings of bliss, communicating with spirits, and seeing long-deceased loved ones. No matter the culture, the religion...
Sounds like a power surge. You get an electronics for a fuse blow. Oh. No dad ad.
Religion or lack of religion, NDEs are a universal human experience. This could be because there is an afterlife and we do have a soul, or the experiences are similar because our brains are built the same way. The most widely accepted scientific theory is that NDEs are hallucinations that happen as brain cells begin to die from lack of oxygen. This is called the dying brain hypothesis. This could explain why so many NDEs share common supernatural elements. They may be byproducts of the brain's final burst of activity. When your brain isn't getting enough oxygen, you experience tunnel vision as your optic nerve fails. This could be why so many people describe a tunnel. Pilots undergoing intense acceleration have reported tunnel vision and bright light. As oxygen drops in a dying brain, neurons fire in cascades that could be perceived as bright light. This happened to Neil Armstrong during G-force training for the Apollo mission. People who get panic attacks experience tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, feeling lightheaded, numbness in the extremities, that's what my panic attacks are like. But those effects are nothing more than the brain not getting enough oxygen, which is why taking deep breaths helps. Well, most of the time. Lack of oxygen also causes hallucinations. Now, when mountaineers climb the Himalayas, they bring oxygen with them, but that wasn't always the case. In 1933, Frank Smythe was high on Mount Everest, higher than anyone had ever been before. He stopped to rest. He offered half his food to his companion, but then realized he was climbing alone.
All the time I was climbing alone, I had a strong feeling that I was accompanied by a second person. That feeling was so strong that it...
Dandal's just covered this, hasn't he? The third person phenomena. Chat. Now that we're getting the scientific explanation, I've just noticed that the percentage of people believing has dropped. So if you voted, is your vote the same? I'm going to leave the poll open until the very end. We may run over here. But it'd be interesting to see how many people look at the science and change their opinion.
completely eliminated all loneliness I might otherwise have felt.
There's also a type of epilepsy that can cause NDEs. It's temporal lobe epilepsy. The temporal lobe of the brain is crucial in processing emotions, memory, and is also involved in the formation of the conscious self. In studies, stimulating this region of the brain has triggered out-of-body experiences similar to those reported.
Oh, you can't change your vote. You can't really debunk stuff like that. You have to die yourself. I'm not saying it's debunked. I'm saying that scientists have looked at it. I'll do another poll. Right. One of the mods, I can remember 76%. Right. CRL, do me a favor. Just remember 76% in case I have one of my known brain farts. I'm going to put the same poll back up. See, it's fluctuating, 76, 77. I'm going to put another poll back up and see what the percentage is after this explanation or while this explanation is going on. I know this has been a very weird, but I didn't expect to get so... I can't start another poll. Wait, can I close this one? I don't have to close the poll. Right, end the poll at 76%. Now we'll start another poll. Ask a question. NDEs. Real equals yes. No equals brain. Shutting down. Right, so the new poll, I've just spelled something wrong. NDEs, real equals yes, no equal brain shutting down. So start voting again now. We'll go back to the video and we'll see what happens at the end. See if perceptions change. I think they might.
Reported in NDEs. Then there are the chemical changes. There are fluctuations in dopamine and serotonin. These
and just to see, there'll be no mocking and no you're right, we're wrong, none of that. I'm just interested, really interested.
Chemicals cause feelings of happiness and peace. There's a release of endorphins. This also causes a feeling of peace.
Thank you.
Plus, endorphins are a natural painkiller. It's been suggested that NN-dimethyltryptamine, or DMT, is released in our brains upon birth and upon death. DMT is a powerful psychedelic. Skeptics say these chemicals likely contribute to NDE's dreamlike quality. But with all due respect to the skeptics, a DMT experience is nothing like an NDE. I know this firsthand. When someone is having a near-death
He's done acid
experience, they're very aware of their conscious self.
Poll hasn't popped up. I can see it, and there's votes on there. 64% saying yes.
DMT, also called the spirit molecule, detaches you from your ego. It's hard to explain. You feel like you're disconnected from everything and connected to everything at the same time. And by the way, if you're thinking of trying DMT for fun, don't do that. It's not fun. And what about the weight of the human soul? We proved it weighs 21 grams, right?
This comes down to specific word and had the foot. Yeah, Punky Pixie, I get what you're saying, but my first poll was based off very limited knowledge. I should have worded it the same. But the question has changed.
Well, no. Yes.
You're not
maybe.
wrong.
Everything
Dixie.
about McDougall's experiment is true, but he only worked with 6 patients. The experiment lacked proper controls and hasn't been successfully replicated. Okay, so what happened with more recent 21-gram experiments? What results did those scientists get? Well, we don't know. Nobody's tried to replicate it. Why not? If science could prove the existence of the soul, it would be one of the most important discoveries in human history. But that discovery would also be extremely dangerous.
This is where we get into the if there's life after death, how many people would jog on to the new life because it could be better.
The fact scientists won't repeat McDougall's 21 grams experiment annoys me, but it doesn't surprise me. When McDougall was conducting his study, the owners of the home were worried the church would find out and be furious. When his results were released, the opposite happened. Scientists were furious, not the church. The church was thrilled. McDougall had proven the existence of a soul.
Jennifer Taylor, did I get the gift? The alerts YouTube end are playing up and Stream Elements. I'm very sorry, but it hasn't. Very sorry, but thank you, whatever it was. I really appreciate it. I'm very sorry.
He was one step closer to proving the existence of God. But to this day, many scientists laugh at McDougall's results, calling them utterly false. Okay, prove it.
Lack of oxygen would contribute to weight, right? Yeah, but you also defecate. So your bowels, your bladder, everything empties. All your air exhales. The death gasp, is it? It's not gasp. But when you die, it's that exhale. It's your body expelling everything. And it empties from everywhere. I think that accounts for the 21.
Maybe McDougall didn't prove there is.
Coco Hikari, thank you for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Guys, we are probably going to run over here. Obviously, if you want to go and check out whoever's got premieres and stuff, the death rattle, not all the time, Beardo. I thought everyone did. I thought everyone defecated.
There's a soul, but nobody can prove there isn't. Science says when our brains stop working, there's nothing happening. We're just dead. But recent studies, like the one we talked about today, proves there is something happening. Science just doesn't know what. And when science doesn't have the answer, religion often does. But governments have been trying to destroy religion, all religions, for the last 150 years. In doing so, the state has become a religion for millions of people. Don't believe me? Spend 10 minutes on X.
Twitter.
It's X now.
It's fucking Twitter. I'm with the fish. Not everyone. Oh.
I'm not calling it that. It's stupid.
I don't disagree.
Depends where it is in the colon. Ah.
If science were to conclusively prove the existence of the human soul, that would virtually eliminate the need for the military-industrial complex. It would eliminate the need for a militarized police force. We'd finally know for sure what our purpose is. To be virtuous, good, kind.
It's a myth. It can happen, but more often than not, it doesn't. Right. I didn't know that. Thank you, my beautiful wife.
Kind, generous, to help our fellow people navigate and survive this crazy world. If we knew for certain that the soul could go to hell, well, you'd see a pretty big drop in violent crime.
Good. I failed to see the problem there.
In all crime. And any would-be dictators out there would think twice before seizing power. There is no scientific proof of a soul and an afterlife. There is evidence, mounting evidence, but evidence isn't proof. But do we really need proof? If you're a person of faith, you don't. You already know there's a God and heaven awaits, and I'm envious of those people. But what about those of us who aren't religious? I consider myself very practical. I'd love scientific proof of an afterlife.
Me too.
But what I find very strange is I don't really need it.
The next Pew Pews will be, I'll say Wednesday 100%. It may be Monday.
I have a sense deep down that there's something more. I think most of us do.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just the way we evolved. We're aware that our own death is inevitable. We need a mechanism to keep us from freaking out. Believing in an afterlife is that mechanism that tells us not to worry, that everything's going to be okay. I'm glad that mechanism is there. but I can't help but wonder if someone put it there.
Ooh. I thought evidence was
Recent
proof.
studies have shown that when a person dies, their cells don't start decaying immediately. They remain in a state of hibernation for quite a few minutes. That doesn't seem like an accident to me. It seems like it's by design. It's as if during those few minutes of hibernation, we're waiting for permission from someone to go somewhere. Even though I'm not religious, I have a sense those last few minutes involve a soul and a scale, and I live my life accordingly, just in case.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. My name is AJ.
What a thought-provoking, intense episode that was. Yeah, I do own a crossbow for protection of my family. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, I do. So no proof, just belief. Possibly, right. So get your votes in. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll tell me how many. It doesn't. But earlier on it was 70, was it 79 or 76 CRL? Yeah, Jerry Satz, absolutely amazing. Very thought-provoking, very, like, introspective as well. I mean, the guy that saw hell knowing that he'd done some really shady shit. Is that just... Oh, you can see the votes and I can't. YouTube sucks. But when we started, we were 76%. After watching that, we're at 63. But we have to take into account I reworded the poll and I shouldn't have. But I went into this NDE video knowing a lot less than I do, and I changed my question to suit what I had learnt. So I fucked that up a bit. Right, we're down to 63. 206 votes. I don't know how many... I should have checked how many votes there were the first time. But it... including my mistake of changing the question, the poll has changed to 63%. Now, is that 63 because of me rewording it? Possibly. Probably. And there's less votes. So maybe when we got to the debunking element of the Y Files episode, believers dropped out to a degree. It's still pretty clear. Yeah, true. It is still the majority believe in NDs in the way of it is something paranormal. 316 votes last time. So does that 316 against 300 and 200 and something? Changed your vote because of the rewording. Yeah, I fucked up when I did that. That's my mistake. I'm very sorry. But it was a live reaction to what I was watching. People are still voting. Yeah, they can still vote. The vote's still changing, but I cocked the vote up by changing it. I should have planned this. This is the issue. Oh, not the issue. This is the thing with live streaming. I'm watching things and I'm reacting and learning as I'm reacting. As are the audience. But some people are going to switch off when the debunking starts. New people are going to come in and only catch half of it. I'm a YouTuber at the end of the day, doing YouTube stuff. see his past life video. Maybe next Tuesday we'll do the past life. Maybe. Beard near death doesn't mean after death. No, well, technically yes, because near death you've actually died, but then you're brought back. I think it treats death as you don't come back, and then an NDE, near death, is you died and then you come back. I think that's the difference. It's not very clear. That's how I see it. That's how I've questioned. Best way to do a live reaction? Rowledge, I don't know what I've missed there. I'm very sorry. These live reaction videos are very, very busy. Yeah, we'll Cheryl, sorry. You don't utilize your help. Yeah. Cheryl, could you note whatever I just read? Sorry, I've completely brain farted again then. The next Y-files the people have suggested. 64%. Where is it? I can't find it now. Is it past life? Have the Y-files debunked on the strange man people see in their dreams? I don't know what you mean there. Are you talking about shadow figures? I think I've seen about shadow figures. Death was when the heart stops. Surely death is when the heart and brain stop, right? I'm going to stop offering. Don't give me shit, yeah. I don't think you can die and be brought back. Near death for sure, but death is the end. Yeah, I guess. I don't think it's necessarily paranormal, but I do think it's part of the death experience. Yeah, so instead of calling it... Well, no, near death is the right term. Because while technically you're dead for X amount of time... What about the guy that died for 40-odd minutes, though? Surely that guy is fucking dead. And he had experiences. And then I spoke to a guy the other day that died for... I don't want to say a number because I can't 100% be sure. But he was dead for a while. And he was like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. The Hat Man. People see the Hat Man when they have sleep paralysis as well. Just a theory, when we die, we instantly reincarnated, hence the white light of being reborn. I don't know. I'm allowed, you're not. The man in the dreams, as he has covered and debunked. We've definitely got a lot here to continue going on with. End of life, you should call it. Yeah. We look into the dreams and stuff. It's going way too morbid in here. Yeah, it's just interesting. And because we're into the paranormal, we're into life and death. And it's difficult. Not so much difficult. It's thought-provoking and it is morbid. Right. So we've gone over it just by a little bit. I thought we'd go over more, to be fair. So I'm going to send everyone over to Don't Scare Claire. She's got a premiere right now. I won't be attending. I've got to go and eat. It's all in my section of Discord, Beardo. Thank you, CRL. So next week we'll look at the Discord. 64%. The numbers changed, but that's my fault. So at the top of the chat, you will see a pinned message. That will take you through to Don't Scare Claire. Ending the poll, 36% no, 64 yes. 227 votes. So it was a lot less in the votes as well. Personally, while you guys are filtering on out over to Don't Scare Claire and her fantastic storytelling, go over and tell her congratulations for 40k subscribers, please. My thoughts, I'm still unsure. I still think my belief is outweighing science. And I still think there's something more. I think near-death experiences are more than just your brain kicking into gear for one last fight. Because I think your brain is intelligent enough to realize that you're dying and there's no point in expelling that energy. But I'm no expert. I hope you all have a fantastic night. Do please go and check out Don't Scare Claire. Much love to you all. Thank you for another awesome stream. Much love to you all. Beardo out.
Can I get a dressed up like a T-Rex with that perfect strut. All the people in the chat's just going nuts. You need a roar. Can I get a roar? If you're not feeling...
We're going to do this one really quick. What do you call a ghost in the fireplace? A toasty ghosty. Bye.